on three. 1, 2, 3.
Win!
The alley-oop!
Hello, Saints fans, and welcome to the Coaches Show. This is your show about St. Martin's baseball alongside the head coach of the baseball team, Joey Swanson. Coach, pleasure to have you along. It's been cool to see your development from being an assistant coach all the way up to the headship this season. And, Coach, let's talk first about that journey it took to get there. How did your love for baseball begin, and how did it develop into what it is today?
Yeah, no, pleasure to be here. Appreciate it. That's a good question. I go as far back as we took a family trip to Mexico when I was about 12, and when we were down there, taught a bunch of kids that obviously didn't speak English down there, and we used the game of baseball to communicate. And I always tell that story that's how I've got started with this. I've been in love with baseball my whole life. Out of high school, I actually interviewed with Coach Joe Dominic to be an assistant, and it just didn't work out. And then about 10 years later, interviewed with Coach Garland and started as a volunteer coach. And then a year later, hired as a paid coach. And then, unfortunately, Garland passed, and Kelly took over and worked with him for 6-7 years. And then, this is my first year as head coach, and Kelly's moved on to being a family man, and it's great to see. And I'm from this area. St. Martin's is near to me. I live right off the end of Slater-Kinney Road, and, this is such a special experience for me, and just really looking forward to what we can try to do with this program. We've got a good group of guys that Kelly and myself and former coaches have helped put together. And I've always loved baseball. My wife loves baseball. It makes this a little bit easier when she's supportive, and just love the St. Martin's community.
A huge community that has grown through 9 years. And what stands out about this community that makes it so special compared to others?
Yeah, this is the first college coaching job that I've had, so I can't really compare it to others. But I would say in that time span, the community support has grown so much. Our ties with the people of Hawaii have grown so much. That's a big pipeline for us, and we go out there every other year, or try to go out there every other year, and show the aloha back to them, and get them to be able to see their kids play at home. And it's just been special, and continue to see that grow. It's such a good culture here for the school, and it's just awesome. I think that the community outreach, especially that we've done, that Kelly started a few years ago, has grown to, we're now in our 5th year of our annual golf tournament that we go out every August, and it helps with our scholarships, helps with our just the overall student athlete player experience. We're very thankful for that, and that entire community, not only there, but now we're getting more traction with a lot of the local families here as well.
A lot of traction with the community up to this new season. And as we begin conference play last week against Central Washington, you guys played tough, although the results didn't display itself. Some close games down the stretch. What stood out as some of the positives from this past weekend?
Yeah, I think this past weekend, having now 48 hours to look back on it and think about it, and you don't really realize it in the moment. We were one wild pitch away from a split, and one wild pitch and 2 hits away from winning a series. These guys are really close. We've talked about the Saints way, having Saints pride, developing a better culture and some standards and expectations for the program. And these guys, the offense didn't show quit this weekend. The pitchers grew a lot I think it was really good for them to be home. Hall of Fame weekend, there was a lot of people. I don't remember the last time we had that many people in the stands. And obviously I think Coach Garland was looking down on us a little bit because, our field was frozen up until a week prior to the series, and we weren't able to we haven't been able to get on it until last week. And so, to be able to have that nice little dry stretch to be able to get it, we had to move the series and didn't really deal with much adversity from a field standpoint. I think a lot of these guys are used to tarp pull and halting games, and we still did have a halted game that we had to come back and finish on Sunday, but it was due to darkness, not field conditions. But it was just good for our guys to be at home and just compete. And I think it speaks volume to them for sticking with it. We got off to a really rough start. San Marcos was a very good competition for us. We've got a lot of young guys in the lineup, and the offense just doesn't quit, and a lot of first-year pitchers, and they're going through their lumps. But I think that Coach Hatton and Coach Oshiro and Coach Bosser, everybody's doing a good job helping prepare them. And, we're going to continue to get better, and I look forward to the days when we do have our best baseball, because we're really close. We cleaned up some defensive mistakes. These last 8 games, 5 of them have been one-run games, 2 or 3 walk-off losses for us. And, that's tough. And they've come back, and they haven't shown quit. There's a lot of grit. There's a lot of passion. There's respect for their teammates and coaches and fans. And, it's a very fun group. And we can't wait to see what else we can do. We have our own internal goals, and they're playing well, and we'll see where it goes.
And this upcoming weekend, taking on Whitworth, a top 3 team in the Northwest Conference last year. What's going to take to have a positive weekend up this weekend?
Yeah, we just have to continue to play good baseball. It's tough for our guys because we're right in the middle of school. Midterms are this week. It's studying on the bus. It's maybe proctoring tests on the bus. It's going to be a challenge for him. Coach C.J. Perry, I've known for a little bit. He does a good job with that club. He's been there for a while, and actually kind of reached out to him this fall to help with our development of our program as well. They've got some good players, and I don't think that there's a lot of separation between Division II, Division III, NAIA. Once you get below Division I, everybody is really fairly evenly matched up at times. I mean, it still comes down to just taking care of the baseball and winning the free base war. And, if we can continue to have our pitchers grow, our hitters do what they do, what they've done all year, it's been awesome to see. And then just, take care of the baseball behind the staff. That's what it's going to take. Baseball is pretty simple. I think we all try to overcomplicate it. There's a lot of stats and things that we can get into. But at the end of the day, you just got to take care of the baseball and pitch the contact and, let the chips fall where they may.
And for the offensive side, you have 2 batters that are over the 400 mark. And what's impressed you in the early portion of this season for the individuals on your team?
Yeah, I think, looking at just the GNAC leaders today and over the last couple weeks, it's awesome to see guys almost in every top 10 of every statistical category from an offensive standpoint. Hunter's been consistent all year. Our 1 through 6 have just been awesome, but they don't get those opportunities without our 7, 8, 9 guys coming in. Rylan Miyazaki has been struggled a little bit early defensively. He's asked to clean some things up, asked to see video, and we provide, what we can for them. But he's been able to be in that 9-hole and help turn the lineup around. Peter Hollabaugh's been in several situations with runners in scoring position, and it's been good. But our middle lineup, 3 through 6 with Alex and Hunter and Damon Ingram and Shabbat, those guys have consistently been on barrel all year from the very get-go up until last weekend. And I was a little – not concerned, but wondering if they could continue to do that coming off a bye week, and they didn't skip a beat. I think, Alex winning hitter of the week was awesome for him. He's a first-year player for us, dealt with some injuries last year at Lower Columbia, but he's a force in the lineup, and I'm sure it's probably pretty nice for him to go from a wood bat to aluminum bat and, do a little bit more damage than he's been used to. And I think that hopefully soon we'll have more of those hitters of the week to come for sure.
See more as far as the offensive production side, and then for the pitching end, again with sometimes difficult situations and a lot of growth within the last few weeks as we head into conference play. And what are you expecting from your pitching staff in not only the games to come, but also into conference play next week?
Yeah, it's tough. I mean, we have a lot of new arms. We're trying to find innings for them, and I think this weekend will be good. Not that we don't want to win every game, but we're going to try to give some more guys opportunities. That we're still trying to figure out the best rotation to have in there, how to mix and match guys. It's a lot of first year guys. We lost several good pitchers last year graduating and a couple guys transferring out, so it was to be expected that we take our lumps, but I think their mindset this weekend was really good, and it shifted a little bit. I think there's a little bit more buy-in from them. I think Coach Hatton's doing a great job pitch calling, and these guys just have to continue to build off next pitch mentality and just continue to trust their stuff more than anything. I think when you're playing good defense behind them, it's a little bit easier for them to have confidence and throw pitches with conviction, and Whitworth's a good hitting club, so they'll be challenged for sure. But we've seen, I think Luke Fulkerson has taken a big step. Blaze continues to do what he does. Nicky does a great job. We had an outstanding performance by Bryson Nakamoto last weekend where he came in the halted game 3 in the morning, and we kept him warm, and then he gave us 4 really strong innings for our first W, which was also held in place by Rage Velez on the backside. Those guys, to be able to just use 2 pitchers in a 9-inning game, like that's what we're going to have to do. We're just not blessed with the arm talent right now to be able to roll a Justice Yamashita or a Tanner Inoue like we've had in the past, to be able to roll those guys out for complete games. So it's going to take 4 or 5 inning efforts out of several guys to continue to keep us successful.
And keep that success up with a season of change for St. Martin's baseball. That's all the time we have for the Coaches Show. For head coach Joey Swanson, I'm DeBock saying so long and take care. And as always, it's a great day to be a Saint.